Hey everybody, welcome to Shutterbug Club podcast. I'm your host, Sue Shutterbug, and today we have a very highly requested episode, which I'm actually super excited to talk about today's episode. And I don't know why I'm really passionate about this topic, but it's kind of funny. I could talk forever about it. So I'm super excited because I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how I use AI, specifically ChatGPT, every single day to make my photography business and honestly just my life so much easier. So if you've ever wondered what ChatGPT actually is, how do you use it? Do you have to pay for it? Anything like that, I've got you covered. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my best tips for getting high quality responses and how AI can help you with everything from replying to emails, your editing, and even personal things that I use it for, such as meal planning and time management. Plus, we're going to dive into the ethical side of AI and what it means for creatives. So, AI, or artificial intelligence, is everywhere. You're probably using it in so many ways that you're not even aware of. And like I said earlier, we're specifically going to be talking about ChatGPT. But before we dive into that, let me just go over some other forms of artificial intelligence that you might be using. The first is voice assistants, and this is probably the most commonly known one, like Siri, Alexa, Google, all of those use artificial intelligence. Also, social media algorithms and self-driving cars, those are all a part of AI. And if you're a photographer, you're probably familiar with like background removal AI. This is something that Lightroom more recently has like improved and added into their system. And so Lightroom now uses artificial intelligence to help you remove your background, like remove people, subjects, anything like that in your photos to improve your photos. And Lightroom also uses like masking tools, AI masking tools, so you can select to mask a person, their lips, their hair, their eyes, anything specific that uses artificial intelligence to find those things. And I personally love using the background removal or image generator artificial intelligence in Photoshop. So if you've never tried this in Photoshop, I highly recommend giving it a try because it's fun to just experiment with, and you don't always get amazing results, but it's really fun to just try out. And so what I use this for, you can like select something in your image. So I'll usually select my sky or something, and then you can actually type in what you want it to generate. So I'll say like, give me a sunset or give me clouds, anything like that, and just change your image up like that. And you can even generate entire images, like having nothing to work with. And there's a few different softwares that do this. I know Adobe has one, but you can look it up online. I've tried a few different ones. And I like to generate images when I'm planning for a photo shoot. And I have a specific vision in mind for this photo shoot. And so I'm a very visual person and I like to see how things are going to look. So if I have a model already picked out in a location, then I will type in what my model looks like, what she's going to be wearing, what the location looks like, and I'll tell it to give me like a editorial magazine cover image. And this just helps me to visualize the photo shoot and what it could look like before I go into it. So that's another form of AI. And the last one I'm going to talk about is editing with AI. So I personally use Aftershoot. There are a ton of different AI editing softwares out there, and Aftershoot can cull through your images and edit them. I personally only use it for culling my images just because I'm like too lazy to set up the editing part. But for culling your images, it's really cool because it will go through your pictures, you upload all your pictures, and it can detect like the blurry images and whether someone has their eyes open or closed. And I know you might be thinking like sometimes I take blurry photos as an aesthetic, like that's part of my creativity. It can actually detect when an image is on purposely blurry or out of focus. And Personally, I've found it to be pretty good at this. I'm like, usually it picks all of the same photos that I would have. And so it's great for culling and speeding up your workflow. And with editing, it can basically learn your editing style. So, how you already edit, you just upload your preset or whatever, and it will learn, like, it will almost edit better than you because it will learn what you do in specific scenarios. So, like, if it's harsh light, it will learn what you do with your darks and colors and all of that. I don't even know. Sometimes I've seen it like edit better than what I would personally do. I've tried it out like a little bit, but I feel like I've been experimenting with my editing style so much lately. I'm not ready to just pick one style and like tell it to always edit with this. So that's why I don't use the editing side of it, but it's great for culling my images. Okay, that was a mouthful. I think I need to like slow down a little bit. I get way too into it. Okay, going now into ChatGPT. Most of the time when I tell people about ChatGPT, they're like, yeah, I've heard of it, but what even is it? Like, is it an app? Is it something you have to pay for? How do you get it? So I'm going to answer all those questions for you. What is it and how to get it? So I use both the online version and the app version. So when I'm on my computer working, I will just type in Chat GPT. And it's literally like you spell out chat and then capital GPT. And then it'll pop up, and the logo is like this black rope knot looking thing in a circle. It used to be green, but right now the logo is black and white. And I actually looked up the meaning of the logo because I was like, what is the ChatGPT logo? By looked up, I mean I asked ChatGPT what its logo is because I use it for literally everything. So let me just read to you what it said it was because I thought it was interesting. Okay, so the ChatGPT logo is a interlocking geometrical design resembling a knot or a continuous loop. The continuous interconnected lines symbolize the flow of AI learning and adapting. The interwoven design reflects how AI and humans work together. The loop structure suggests continuous learning and improvement, much like how ChatGPT processes and evolves over time. Okay, just a random fact for you. I thought that was kind of interesting, so I wanted to include that. But I think of ChatGPT as just like my personal assistant. It is my go-to for my questions when I need advice, all of that. And ChatGPT understands, so you can talk to it just like you would anybody else. You don't have to be perfectly in order or anything. Like me, I basically word vomit all the time. Like I have so much on my mind and I will just type it all out there, and ChatGPT is really good at organizing things. And so you can talk to it just like a normal person, just like you do with Alexa or Siri. And then it also learns. So as you interact with it, it's going to learn your personal touches. It's going to learn what you like, what you don't like, and how to improve to help you specifically more personally. And so it's important to also help it learn by telling it the things that you like and don't like. And then it also applies knowledge. So it also uses all of the knowledge from the internet that it already has out there to help you with your questions and requests. And the biggest perk is it is free. Like, I am shocked the amount of things ChatGPT can do in the free version. I've honestly never purchased the paid version. I've only just used the free version, but I think it would be worth it. Like, if I had to pay for this to use it, I would, because it is incredible and you get all of this for free in the app and online. Okay, so now we're going to go into how to get the best results. ChatGPT learns on the information you give it, the data you give it. So the more information you provide, the better outcome you're going to get. So here's an example. Say you want an Instagram caption. So instead of saying, help me write a caption, you don't want to say that. You want to say, Write a fun, engaging Instagram caption for a wedding photo featuring golden hour light, dreamy tones, and a joyful couple. My target audience is young couples thinking about getting married. My goal for this post is to make them think of me when they are ready to find a photographer. See how much more information that was than just simply help me write a caption? So, the more information you can feed into it about who you are, what your goals are, the better results you're going to get. So, when you're typing a prompt into ChatGPT, you're going to want to tell it who you are. So, I'll say something like, I'm a creative portrait photographer or anything like that. And then you want to say who your audience is. So, my audience, usually I'm trying to book like senior photos. So, my audience will either be young females in high school, like ranging 17 to 20, maybe. Or my audience is also photographers. So, depending on what I'm posting, who I'm talking to, who I want to reach with my post, which I don't usually use ChatGPT to generate my captions unless it's some kind of like advertisement thing, because it is really good at creating ads, in my opinion. But just in anything that you're writing, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a website copy, you're going to want it to know who your audience is. And then you're also going to want to tell it what your goals are. What do you want it to achieve from whatever you're having it generate? And then lastly, you're going to want to tell it what tone you want it to use. So, some tones that I like to recommend for it to use are friendly, persuasive, professional, conversational, or the one that I use most common is I'll honestly just tell it to write it as if I'm talking to a friend, because I would say that is the tone of my brand. So you want to find out if your business is more professional or are you more friendly? Or are you trying to be persuasive? If it's in some kind of advertisement, you're going to want to make it persuasive, or engaging is another really good one. So just these words will help it give you better results when you can tell it what tone you want to speak from. Another thing you can do to get good results with ChatGPT is use role playing. So you can tell it, imagine you're a marketing expert. And so if you tell ChatGPT that, then it's going to automatically start taking all of the information it's going to need to about marketing, about becoming an expert. And you can basically use it as your own personal coach in whatever you're struggling with. So you could say, you're typing this prompt into ChatGPT, you would say, you're a photography business coach. Help me. And then whatever you're struggling with in your business. And again, you might also want to say what your goals are for what you're struggling with, give it a little bit more guidance on what direction you want to go in. And ChatGPT, I've found, has some really good advice about a lot of stuff. But like I said before, it might take it a little bit of time to figure out you and what kind of things you like as responses if you've never used it before. So, my last tip to get good results is to make revisions and teach it what you like or what you want. It's honestly scary how much my ChatGPT account knows me. When I type in something, it just knows me so well, and it knows that I'm a photographer because I ask it photography things all the time. And so it will automatically generate a response to what I need. And you can also go into settings in ChatGPT and put in like what you are and what kind of stuff you want. So it will always generate responses like that. But I've just used it so much that mine automatically does a very good job at it. So after you type in a prompt and it gives you an answer, some things you can do to refine what it gave you is you can say, make this simpler. Or you can say, how can I make this flow better? Or dive deeper into this. Or my favorite to do is change this, but keep that. And when I'm saying change this, keep that, I like to explain what I want to change and why. So I'll say, like, I like this part of the paragraph because da da da, but I don't like this part because. And so I feel like that really helps it learn who you are and what kind of results to give you. And my very last tip for getting better results is to simply ask ChatGPT how to improve your prompts. It's literally as simple as that. It can tell you how to use it. Like, it will tell you how to use it. It can be your own manual to anything you need, including ChatGPT. Okay, so now we're going to specifically go into some ways I use ChatGPT to improve my photography business. The number one way I use it is brainstorming. This is so powerful and it can be such a great way to help get your creativity flowing and just think of new ideas to improve your content and to also help you make more money. So usually I'll already have some kind of idea in mind of what I want to do, and I will type in like what I'm already thinking, and I will just tell it, help me brainstorm more ideas, how I can improve this, anything like that. So let's go into content creation. I use ChatGPT to help me create content for my business. So the first way that you can use it is with blogs. And I actually don't write a lot of blogs. I've written a couple. And I did use ChatGPT, but blogs are something I plan to do more in the future once I get my website finished. So you can tell ChatGPT to help brainstorm some ideas for blogs. So you're going to want to tell it what you are. Brainstorm some maybe educational blog ideas for a photographer who specializes in, or you can tell it to create an outline for a blog about. So it's super helpful in those ways, especially if you're like me and just hate writing. I've honestly always hated English and I've always considered myself very bad at writing and grammar. Like, I am so bad at grammar and just structuring things. And so that's why ChatGPT is such a huge lifesaver to me because I no longer have to worry about those things. You can also use it to improve your SEO in your blogs, so your search engine optimization. So when you're writing a blog, you're usually going to want it to rank on Google for a specific topic. Like me, I'm a senior photographer. If I want to write a blog that high school seniors are going to find, then I would write something about like what to wear to your senior photos. So then my search keywords are going to be stuff like senior photos, outfit guide, and there's other ones and tools you can use to help think of keywords. You can also ask ChatGPT what are some good keywords for you, and then you can tell it to write you a blog post or a blog outline that focuses on these keywords to rank you high in Google or whatever for your blog. And I know I've heard there are some like things that detect when AI writes something and it will like censor your content and not push out your content as much if it's AI or something. But honestly, the way you can tailor AI, I have tailored it so much to me and my personality that when it writes something, I'll read it and I'm like, this is exactly what I would write or exactly what I would say. And if it's not, then I will go in and I will change a few words. I don't usually like copy it completely. I do personalize it even further with my own human touches, but just to get that basic outline. And then if you go in and improve it, then honestly, nothing is gonna catch that as AI. And I've heard there's like a ton of problems with those censor things. Being in college and stuff, they always said like, don't use AI for your projects because we have censors that are going to catch it, but they never worked that well. Okay, you can also use it to brainstorm some social media ideas. If you're feeling kind of stuck and don't know what to post about, then you can say like, give me photography challenges ideas. Come up with engaging games or challenges for social media. And this will just help get the creativity flowing, a good starting point when you're like planning out content or trying to think of what you can create for your business. Okay, and then the last way I use it for content creation is hooks. Hooks for my videos. Hooks are so important, and I've talked about this a lot. It is the thing that is going to make somebody watch your video. So you want to make sure you have a really powerful hook. And so one thing I like to do to improve my hooks is I'll actually go online and type up like 100 best hooks to use. That's a really popular site I see, and it will tell you a bunch of hook ideas like what you're doing wrong or something like that. And I'll honestly just go and like copy a whole row of these hooks that I like from the website, and then I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say, give me a hook in a format similar to these, and then I'll paste the hook ideas about, and then I'll type what my video is about, who my audience is, what I want the viewer to get from watching the video. And so then it has my video information, it has my audience, and it has examples of hooks that have worked well for other people. So it kind of gets the idea of what words and stuff to use when forming the hooks. And I've gotten some really good video hooks from using this. And like I said before, sometimes it does just take a few tries of improving your prompts to get the best results. But usually if you can give it some kind of example like that, then it works really well. But if you just tell it like give me a hook for this video about, it doesn't do as well, I've found. Okay, now we're going to talk about answering emails. This is actually the number one way I use ChatGPT is in responding with my clients, because I really want to maintain my voice. I want to come across as very friendly, very professional, and me being bad at English and grammar, sometimes that's harder for me to do. And so, especially when I need to reply to like a difficult client, I just love asking ChatGPT to improve my emails. And usually, I already know what I want to say for my email. Usually, I'll have it all typed up and then I'll just copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, like, how can I improve this? And usually, it will just do a couple grammar fixes, or it's really good at catching the tone that you talk to your clients in. So sometimes your tone can come off as more friendly. Like it's really good at just giving me tips to improve it to be more friendly to better serve my client. And also clarity. Like I said before, I just like word vomit everything. And so I don't have good organization or clarity in my typing copy usually. So I'll tell it to like optimize this for clarity, understanding, all of that stuff. And it does really good. I searched through my ChatGPT history trying to find some good examples to read to you guys because I literally know I have so many, but the problem is I use it every single day. So, like, trying to find the best ones, they're kind of buried. And I searched a little bit, but I pulled up one example that I used for ChatGPT in an email recently that I'll read to you, which I wish I could find my other examples because there's sometimes that it just blows my mind, the response it gives me. Okay, so I found the email. I'll read to you what my prompt was in ChatGPT and then the example it gave me. Here's my prompt. I am a photographer talking with a bride about photographing her wedding. The bride sent me this email. Quotation. Hi Sue, sorry for the delay in communication. At this time, we are going to go in another route. Thank you for all your help and time. End quotation. What is a good response I can send that is respectful of her decision but asks why she is choosing to go a different route to help me better understand my clients and serve them better in the future? Write the email in a friendly, conversational tone. Okay, so that was my prompt because I just wanted to reply to my client and improve my business. And so I felt like that was a good way to ask it to help me. So here is the response that ChatGPT gave me. Hi, bride's name. Thank you so much for letting me know. Let me just clarify in case this isn't clear, but this is the response that ChatGPT gave me that I would use to respond to my client. I'm pretty sure that's clear, but so this is what I would say back to my client after she said to me, we're going a different route. So I would say, thank you so much for letting me know. I completely understand that choosing a wedding photographer is such a personal decision, and I truly appreciate the time we spent chatting. If you don't mind me asking, I'd love to know what led you to go in a different direction. I'm always looking for ways to better serve my couples, so any insight would be really helpful. Of course, no pressure at all. I just want to continue improving how I support brides during this exciting time. Wishing you all the best with your wedding planning. I know it's going to be such a beautiful day. Take care, Sue. Okay, that was the response it gave me, and I think I sent over most of that. And honestly, I think that's a really good response because it's very respectful of your clients while also trying to improve your business. Okay, you can use ChatGPT to optimize your business organization and efficiency. I am bad at organization. Honestly, I'm trying to get better and trying to be more organized, but ChatGPT is very helpful in this department. So, contracts is one way you can use it for efficiency. I already have a contract that I got from like Honeybook and stuff, but sometimes there's something I want to add into my contract that's not already there. And so I will copy and paste my contract into ChatGPT and I will tell it to add in whatever specifically I want. And so by copying and pasting your contract that you already have, it's going to like copy the tone that it already uses and the same type of language that it already uses. And so it will seamlessly flow into your contract that you already have. And I have actually used ChatGPT to create full-on contracts. And like one that I used it for is I told you guys in a previous episode about how I've been working with local boutiques, borrowing their clothing for photo shoots and stuff. And so I have a contract in place with them. And I just basically went to ChatGPT and told it, like, create me a contract between me and this business. And here are the things I need it to have. Like, I can borrow clothing whenever I want. If I ruin a clothing, I'll cover the damage. And like maybe you have a specific limit on the price of something you can borrow. I don't know, whatever you want to include in the contract. And the contract it created was very professional. And obviously, I would recommend, like, if you're creating a contract that you're going to be using all the time for something that could be really important, like photography services, have it like approved by a professional or whatever. But honestly, I use ChatGPT for my contracts all the time and I've never had a problem. Okay, another thing you can use ChatGPT for is your pricing guides. Specifically, like you could use it for the outline of your pricing guide or the copy that you use in your pricing guide, how you phrase things. But one prompt that you could use is I struggle with pricing because I love giving value, but also need to make a sustainable income. How can I balance generosity with profitability? So that's just like asking it for some advice if you're creating your pricing and you're just not really sure what to do. Another thing you can use it for is your workflow. So a prompt you can say is, how can I optimize my process for culling, editing, and delivering galleries? You can literally ask it how you can optimize your process with anything if you're just trying to get more done and create a better workflow in your business. Maybe you get sidetracked really easily. And so, yeah, that's really helpful. Or you just have so many tasks and you don't know where to start. That can be really helpful to get just like some kind of idea of what to focus on. What do we have next? Website. Okay, I love improving my website copy with ChatGPT. You can literally copy and paste the link to your website into ChatGPT, and then you can ask it questions about your website. Like, you can ask it, what would my viewer think when they read this? Or how can I improve this to better serve these clients? Just stuff like that. Moving on to editing, which this is funny because I, of course, before this episode, I was on ChatGPT looking up what are ways you can use ChatGPT in your photography business. And pretty much it just said everything I'm already doing. But one thing it said that I didn't even think about was editing. And I was like, wait, how can you use ChatGPT to improve your editing? And so here's like a prompt you can use if you're struggling with editing. Suggest Lightroom preset settings for a warm, golden, dreamy aesthetic that works well for outdoor sunset portraits. And ChatGPT can actually suggest specific tone curves, HSL adjustments, color grading, anything else. Like it can suggest the specific things to set that to, and then you can manually input that into Lightroom, and it will give you like basically Lightroom presets if you're struggling. Like if you want your editing to look a specific way, if you want it to be more dreamy, more warm, whatever, you just tell it to give you like specific things to input. I don't credit me on this one because I've actually never tried this for editing, but that was really interesting to me, and I think I do want to try this. I want to see how it comes out. But that's really cool because you can also use ChatGPT for like coding websites. When I was in college, I took a website class and I was like, I'm not going to be a website coder. I don't want to memorize all these codes. And so I pretty much completed every assignment with ChatGPT, and I was like, just give me the JavaScript website coding for this, and it worked really good. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, I think this is the last thing, maybe. Oh, business related, is making money. So this goes back to like brainstorming, but one prompt you can use is how can I make $1,000 this month as a photographer? And again, go as specific as you can. What kind of photographer are you? If you're just feeling kind of stuck, especially during slow season where you're like, I don't have bookings coming in, I'm not super busy right now. What can I do to make more money this month because I don't have photo shoots? So basically, tell it your problem and tell it your desired outcome. Okay, AI for personal use. I also said this in the business use section, but really time management, just creating a schedule. So I'll tell it everything I need to get done and the specific amount of time that I have to get it done, and it will create me like a to-do list for the day, and it will have like time frames associated with them. And this is just really helpful for me to be able to visually see. Next is meal planning. So you can say to it, give me a quick, easy meal ideas based on what I have in my kitchen. And you can like tell it things that you have, maybe that you want to get used up before it goes bad or something like that. And so that's really helpful when you're just wanting something quick and easy. Okay, next is fitness and wellness. You can tell it, create a simple workout routine that fits your specific lifestyle. So maybe you want to do more yoga based, or maybe you have a very busy lifestyle and not a lot of time to work out, or maybe you're very new to working out and you want just really good beginner workouts. Just having it tell you some kind of workout routine can be really helpful. And then last is daily journaling. So I'm trying to get into journaling and like self-reflection and all of that, but sometimes I struggle with coming up with journal prompts. So this is one I like to ask ChatGPT. I say, provide reflection prompts for self growth. And yeah, there's just some journaling ideas. Okay, we're gonna go into the ethics of ChatGPT. So honestly, AI is terrifying when you think about it too much, how it could actually take over the world because it's smarter than humans. But one of the biggest problems is copyright and intellectual property with AI. So, especially in the image generating stuff, like I talked about earlier, because this is a big problem for artists because it will basically look on the internet for pictures of things that already exist and it will just take those and use it to generate for your image. So it's kind of stealing from artists already on the internet, and this is a really big ethical problem. And honestly, to me, I don't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't bother me that much. I know this really bothers a lot of people, But I feel like it could be a problem if you're using it in a campaign. Like if you're a business and you are using this for a campaign, then I could see how using AI to generate an image could be bad because then that's taking away from artists who get paid to make this kind of stuff. And so for me, I just use it personally for fun, for experimenting, creating art, and just getting ideas. But I could see how this would be more of a problem if you're like a big company and you're taking away from artists. Because that's another big problem is that there is less demand for human artists because companies will opt for AI generated images over hiring a human because AI is so good at it most of the time. It can be really bad at it, but I recently came across this AI thing that generates logos for businesses, and I tried it out because my sister is a dog groomer and she's been needing a logo. And so I was just kind of curious what it would do, and I like typed in what she would want for her logo, and it did really good. I was shocked, and I was like, wow, this would like you would usually hire a graphic designer and then you'd tell them all these ideas, and then you'd wait a few weeks, and then they'd give you the design, and you'd pay them. And so that's kind of scary to just think about how easy it was, and I didn't pay a single thing. So I can see how it is really people could be concerned about it taking over artists. But you have to remember that it is a computer. Like, it's not a human. No matter who you are, you have some kind of personal touch that you can add to your work to keep you relevant. I feel like AI can never fully take over because humans are just different. And so just think about what you have to offer and what kind of value you can bring personally to your work. And then also just use AI as a tool. Use it to your advantage. Instead of thinking of it as a competitor, use it as a tool. Like, even if you are a logo designer, you can be using these AI things to give you ideas. And then, if you're somebody who's professional at designing logos, I'm sure you can design a better logo than what AI has generated. But you can take that inspiration, kind of like an outline for a logo, and then just make it even more personal. And yeah, so I feel like AI will never fully take away the jobs of artists. And honestly, everyone uses it. And so, I mean, not everyone uses it, but it's a thing that exists in the world. And you can't just hate it and ignore it because you're going to fall behind, because everyone is going to adapt to what's new and what's coming out. So it's better to just learn it. Learn it and use it to your advantage instead of being afraid of it and scared that it's going to take over. So, I have a funny story. Well, not funny, but I was kind of shocked. So, this is something I haven't heard talked a lot about, but Instagram has this new feature called trial reels, where you can post a reel as a trial, and basically it will share it only to people who don't follow you. So, your followers won't see this reel, and it will just give you some kind of gauge on how this reel would perform. I used this feature. I created a reel, and my reel was a before and after of a photo that I edited using AI. So using Photoshop's generative fill AI. And my video was to the song by Sabrina Carpenter that was like, I don't know the name of the song, but it says, I just might. I'm not even gonna try singing it, but I think it's called okay, I could be wrong, but that was what the song said. It said, I just might. And so my hook on the video was I would never use AI to edit my photos. And then in my caption, I said, I just might. And so that was like the sound of the song and my caption. And then I did before and after of my photo, editing it with AI. And that video as a trial reel started to get a lot of traction that was so negative. Like, I got so many comments that were hateful. Like, they were saying, you should never use AI, you're taking away from artists, this is awful. And then saying, like, maybe don't. Like, literally just stuff like that. And so I never actually posted this video. I deleted it because I was like, I don't want that kind of negativity, especially because the model in this photo that I edited was just a high school girl. Like, I'm not going to share something of a high school girl that has a bunch of negative comments on it, because who knows how that could affect her self-esteem. But I did post this as a post, not a reel, because as a post, my followers seen it and they loved it. I got a lot of positive comments on the post. I don't think I even got like one negative one. So if you do want to see it, it's basically in front of a hotel sign, a girl on a disco ball, and I showed the before and after of editing it. And I just had fun with it. I was just playing around, and yeah. So I was just kind of surprised by the amount of negativity that reel generated. Okay, so I would love to know, has this episode changed your perspective on AI? And how do you think you can use AI to improve your business or your life, just your workflow? Like, how are you going to use it? So tell me that in the comments, or if you want to send me a DM on Instagram, I would love to know your thoughts on this. And if you loved this episode, please share it with a friend or leave me a review. This would really help my podcast. I appreciate all of you for listening, and I hope that this episode helped you in some way. So I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.